The reality is we do have to keep doing the do through the ups and downs of our life. And that's why it's so important to build our personal health leadership skills and develop solid health habits in those good times. This is Katie Gordon, and you're listening to the Wait is Over podcast. Welcome, health and freedom seekers. Sit back and relax as you come on this journey of overcoming obstacles so you can lose weight, gain health, and live the life you've been looking for. Hello, freedom seekers, and welcome to this week's show. I'm your host, Katie Gordon, and the wait is over with Dietless Living 360 degrees. There's no recipes, food regimes, or exercise programs to follow. This is simply about how to take your life back, how to take control. Because we all have a voice and we want to be heard. We want to forget about dieting, focus on living, and lose weight. And to do that, we have to develop our personal health leadership skills so we can find our freedom through a new state of mind that moves us beyond the obstacles and challenges of life and our own unconscious programs, because it's ultimately what's impacting on our weight and health and causing habit relapse. And the purpose of this podcast is to share with you what I learned over 25 years in dieting hell and spending over $100,000 working out how to step into dietless living. It's completely normal to have ups and downs in how you feel. I mean, life is full of obstacles and challenges, and we all have to go through it. I've had my fair share of ups and downs over my life, some very big and some pretty small, but we still have to navigate our way through either the challenges or just the changes in our mood that we don't understand, because it's all just part of being a human, isn't it? This is how we are. We are an emotional being, and we're just not all, sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We have changes in our emotional state. And it's really important to remember that everyone has days when they feel great and days when they feel low. It's the natural cycles of life. It really only ever turns into a problem for us when things start to accumulate, when we don't have enough time or skills or support to deal with the things that are happening in our life, or perhaps there's just too many coming at one time, when things come faster than we can actually deal with them. And that's when we find ourselves grappling to regroup ourselves to get some purchase on that slippery slope that is our emotional states. And it's also when all our really good health habits go out the window. So anything that we're doing for ourselves in that time, whether we're on a diet, whether we've just started exercise programs, unless it's a health habit that is tightly ingrained in our life, and by tightly ingrained in our life, I mean that it's something that we have been doing as an actual habit of our health routines, and we've been doing it for many years, because if it's a new habit, and a new habit as defined by your brain is anything that's only a couple of years old, can and will fly out the window when the pressure's on. And that's when we find that we're having habit relapse. And the problem is that we're running at life at such a speed that we just don't have the time or the motivation to develop and maintain daily physical health habits and routines that will help us in those really challenging times, because it is all those physical health habits that help us work through the emotional states that we have through those times, whether it's a low state, a high state, a stress state. We need to move that physical emotion through our physical body. And because we're running at life at such a speed and we don't have time to develop those physical routines, those good, healthy physical routines, it stands to reason and it's easier to understand why we actually aren't developing and maintaining the good mental and emotional health routines that we need to have, because they are actually what really help us to maintain the physical routines, because it is the physical routines that are supported by our mental and emotional states. If we find ourselves in a low mental state and a low emotional state, then we don't have the oomph and the motivation to keep propelling us to do the good physical health routines that we need to be doing. And it's all of this that helps us to arrest the slides on those slippery emotional slopes that we find ourselves on. So hands up if you think resilience is actually about being able to shoulder the challenges of life, and really just still get on with doing the do. So you've got a problem, you just stick it on your back, walk forward, you're under load, you're under pressure, you're trying to move forward, but you're doing the do. And you think that's resilience. Like we've all seen it in somebody. We go, oh, wow, look at all they're dealing with, but they're still just getting on with doing life. And we think, wow, they're so resilient. They're working, they're still getting on with turning up at work every single day, giving 1,000%. They're running the family, they're still cooking and cleaning and doing the housework and just simply not skipping a beat. But that isn't really what resilience is about. Resilience isn't just about, soldiering on and pushing through things. It is about getting on and doing the do, but it's about developing your mental, emotional, and physical strength so that you can actually work through that emotional turmoil, stay mentally fit, and so that you can then maintain your physical fitness routines as well. This is what we actually have to build as a habit so that we can provide ourselves with the energy that we need to move in and through the challenges of life so that we can manage our own emotional states. And that's not to say that you're going to manage your emotional state so that you're in the happy, happy land all the time. You're still going to have your highs and lows. It's just how it is. But it's how we deal with those highs and lows, how we think, feel, and deal with them, and how we manage to maintain our healthy habits when the pressure's on or when we're in those low states or in the highly stressed states. That's what resilience really is about. And this is why weight loss and maintaining sparkling health is always so challenging, because we can go really good for a long time, but as I said, if it's not a habit that we've been running for more than 2 or 3 years, then it really is something that will fatigue and relapse under the pressure of life. The reality is we do have to keep doing the do through the ups and downs of our life. And that's why it's so important to build our personal health leadership skills and develop solid health habits in those good times. It's about building those solid health habits so that they become something that we maintain through the hard times and then maintain for years and years, so that then they become something that we are doing as easily as blinking when the hard times come. So we don't skip a beat, so that we can keep doing the do. And we practice our personal health leadership skills in the good times, because it's in the good times that it's really easy to do that. You don't do something when the pressure's on. Wait until you get a diagnosis or something happened and you go, oh my God, I have to change. Change in the good times when it's easier to make a change. But we don't, because we don't have enough pain behind stuff. It's generally a pain point that propels us into taking action. But if you're not in a pain point, now is the time to take action, because this is the time that you will then start to implement it into your life. Okay, it goes here, I can do that, I can implement this. And this is where you then go, right, I can build it in, and you maintain that. Then when the pressure's on, start to pay attention to what's happening and maintain that structure, that foundation. If you wait until you are feeling that pain point, when that and that propels you off into a direction of taking action, what will happen is when you're far enough away from that pain point, you will have a habit relapse, because you haven't made a decision about, this is my actions for life. This is who I am. This is the kind of person I am. I do these things. No, you're finding yourself in a point of pain and you're going, I need to take action, and I'm going to do it until I don't feel the pain anymore. There's a real difference between when we decide to start to do something as to how ingrained it's going to be in our life. And it's really important to know that even though you go through the struggles, that you are the one that is in charge of you, and that you have everything within you to actually leverage that and to create positive outcomes for yourself. It really, really, truly is your life, and you need to step up and step out of the waiting room and take those reins of life and be involved in how it's going to turn out for you. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave me a comment, and share it with your friends. And if you actually want more help with this yourself, please just book in for a private session and let's just get it done this week, because life is for living, and an ounce of adjustment is always easier to implement than 20 pounds of change. It's time to find your freedom and enjoy the life you've been looking for.